guys! Today I wanted to start going over some handling techniques for puppies to get them used to the beginning of vet visits, to get them used to handling by strangers in the future. I do a lot of what I call obnoxious handling, especially with my adult dogs, because I want people to be able to say hi to them, but a lot of people don't have self-restraint when they're saying hi to a dog. So they'll go up into a dog's face, they'll hold their face, they'll stare into their eyes, and those are all things that are generally very uncomfortable for dogs, especially if they don't have that experience. Now, I'm not trying to make this unpleasant for my dogs, but I am doing a little bit more holding. I'm holding them a little bit more still. I'm holding them in different positions, and I'm using a little bit more social pressure sometimes. So I'm making a little bit more eye contact. I start to handle their ears, their mouth. I look into their eyes, a whole bunch of different things that will be relevant for them in the future. So we can also do a little collar grab where I just hold him still. Nothing big or dramatic about it. Some dogs will have a dramatic response. They'll start thrashing and getting upset. I just hold still through that. I'm not putting too much pressure on him or anything, but I don't want him to learn that by thrashing, that's how you get out. I want him to hold nice and still, and when he does, I can release after a second. I can also practice looking in his mouth a little bit, especially if you want to be able to brush your dog's teeth in the future. It's great for having dental checks. I will look into his eyes a little bit, so I'll just move the skin around his eyes, take a look. Again, I'm not making any of this stressful. I'm letting him do his little puppy wiggles. I'm going to hold his paws, so just hold. He's going to do a little bit of mouthing. That's pretty normal. I'm just going to let him be a little bit upset. So I'm not twisting or anything like that. That's just him being a little bit upset about new types of handling. Good. He calms down, I release. I also want to do the same thing for the back feet. So back feet especially tend to be very hard for dogs. I want to make sure he doesn't twist so he doesn't hurt himself. But back feet tend to be especially hard for dogs when they get older. And easy, buddy. Hold him a little bit still so he doesn't hurt himself. Nope. So, holding the back foot, give him a second. Good. Good. And you're likely going to get that resistance, especially at first when you do the handling. I'm not making this a super long, drawn-out exercise. I want to integrate play and food into it. That way he's not just like, well, I don't like this interaction. It wasn't very fun. I'm going to stay away from you a little bit. So I'm going to integrate lots of breaks. I'm going to keep my handling time short. And I want to make sure that this might be a little bit of an annoying experience for him, but overall it's very fun. He gets a little bit too mouthy because he's getting a little bit overexcited or stressed, and I stop play for a second. Good boy. I can hold his paw again. Things that you notice are particularly stressful for your dog, try and do those a little bit. Do those during separate sessions. So don't be like, I'm going to grab your foot 5 times during this session because that's really stressful for you. Be like, hey, look, I'm going to hold your face, give you kisses. I know that that's quite easy for you. I'm going to examine your ears. I know that that's fairly easy for you, maybe a little bit more difficult. I'm going to do a collar hold, also pretty easy for you. And in the middle of all that easier or maybe moderately more difficult things, I'm going to do one that's more difficult, like holding his paw or touching the tail, whatever else it is. You'd be amazed what people do with dogs in public. I've had people lay across my dogs, grab their faces, lay on top of them, poke them with sticks, and I'm always there and I'm always interrupting, but there's still freak events that happen, especially if you bring your dogs out. So it's very good to have your dogs be well handled, especially if you're going into a place where there's a lot of the public. The public is not always accountable for themselves or small children as they should be. And unfortunately, all the onus is on dogs to have proper behavior. It's not on people a lot of the time. So I want to make sure that I start these handling exercises as early as I can You can also do these handling exercises on adult dogs. I do it with a lot of mine, but you want to start a little bit slower oftentimes. You can also do massages. This is also a time where if you want to have your dog wear equipment in the future, like goggles, if you want to have them go outside a lot in the winter or do winter sports, you can have them start to practice wearing their little puppy goggles. Styling. You can practice with good boy. And I'm not making any of this into a big deal. I'm not getting excited or flustered, so it makes it much easier for him to stay nice and calm. If I want him to wear costumes, I can also start holding on to him. Ugh. And I can do little costumes like this. It is Halloween after all today. So I can put little costumes on him. I don't necessarily need to keep them on, but I put them on, he tolerates it, I'll take them off. Makes it so much easier to do the things that you need to do with your dogs in the future. If you do like taking your dogs out in costumes, if maybe they're a breed that's going to need to wear jackets in the future because they don't have a lot of hair. If you want to go on your motorcycle or a bike with your dogs, it's great to practice with goggles. My dogs do some winter sports, so that's why we have goggles. There's just so many different good things that you can start practicing to set them up for a nice, good, solid, fulfilling life. So I hope that helps. Have a great day.